All right. Should have prepared a little bit better. All right, so this is episode 1. Maybe it's the test episode of the first Ponderland Podcast. My name's Jordan, and I'm going to hand it over and introduce you to...
Well,
who do we got here?
This is my name's Joe, and we're two of the collaborators on Half the Place Explorers, a new YouTube channel. We're going to focus mostly on theme park related news and rumors and I don't know what other cool stuff that we hear about throughout the week.
I think we just got like a lot of ideas that this can be really just whatever we want it to be. It doesn't have to really fit in a specific kind of format. We're just gonna, have a conversation about the things that interest us. I love Disney history. I love not even just in the Disneyland history, which is so rich because that was actually where Walt was, but also just in the other theme parks. And we're only gonna get better at this as we figure out what the ins and outs of podcasting and video casting look like. But anyway, so yeah, we're going to be in Disney, but we want to have our toes dipped in all the other theme parks and all the fun things that are going on. And but since we have you here right now, one of the things that we are actually the most amped about right now is it's May 16th. We're less than 2 weeks or about 2 weeks. I'm not sure what the math is. 2 weeks from tomorrow, Galaxy's Edge will no longer be something off in a galaxy far away. It's going to be right here. It's just never seemed like it was going to happen. And it's been cool to see all the buildings go up. And now it's finally going to be open here. And I will not be there. But someone I know very well, or have just met actually, has done the whole rigmarole, went through the reservations and all that, and so yeah, Galaxy's Edge is open. What are your thoughts on Galaxy's Edge, especially since you get to go?
Well, we are very excited. So it'll be we've got a reservation for opening day on the 31st for 8 a.m. So it'll be, in theory, besides all the people that have been doing these early advanced trips to it, we'll be with the first group that goes in that day. So I'm like stoked.
You'll be one of the first.
Yeah.
Now, are you saying there's people who have already been?
Yeah, there's a whole issue with this because for a long time it seemed like the word on the street was that they weren't going to do any sort of previews. There was going to be one press night, like basically a whole press event, and that was going to be 2 days before the physical open in the land, and then the land was going to open, and that was going to be it. So it's like we would have been some of the first to ride the rides, but now it's starting to come out that they've been doing full soft openings all week, not inviting with cast members, but like
special
so
invitation.
Many people. Yeah, right. So many people have like ridden the ride already. I don't know, man. That was kind of a bummer, but I am like super excited.
You'll be one of the first of the official ones, and that counts
Correct.
For something.
Yes. I'm also crazy nervous because I have no idea how it's going to work. We're basically set up with a 4-hour reservation, which is what everyone's getting for the first 3 weeks of operation. And I understand. I don't know, it's hard to break it down. Like, we should just break down in general how Galaxy's Edge is working. Like, so for example, like, what do you know so far?
So I know that there are only... I know that there's 2 main attractions, and literally everything I'm hearing about these attractions are awesome. And I've had my interest. My interest has been very lopsided as far as which attraction I'm anticipating more. And that one is going to be the only one that's not going to be open on official opening day, and that's Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah.
And so honestly, we're talking about this, but that is still going to be my most anticipated aspect of this entire new edition. And so we're probably going to have to devote an episode just to that sometime down the road when that's actually open and we can see what it actually is. But every single thing I'm hearing about Rise of the Resistance is just unbelievable and seems groundbreaking and state-of-the-art in every way.
It's a new dark ride. It's going to be awesome. Like, that's how I was, too. I was, like, really hoping that that was going to be open for opening day. And then, like, when all the announcements came out, I think that was the biggest surprise for me, was that, like, in my opinion, the coolest ride that they're going to have is going to be open. And that's not any shade at Millennium Falcon, but it's, like, Smuggler's Run.
Millennium Falcon is going to be 100% awesome. Like, guaranteed.
But Rise of the Resistance is, like, a full experience. Like, full-on immersion. Like, you feel like you're on a Star Destroyer. You're getting captured by the First Order. It's busted out by the Resistance.
It's full, but I'm also trying to think, when was, like, the last time we got, like, a full, true Disneyland dark ride from the ground up? I'm thinking Epcot, maybe, with the Frozen ride, but even then, that was just sort of a retheme of what Maelstrom was, and so it was still familiar, even though it was brand new. This is like fully brand new. It's going to be, what was the number? I think there's like 150 different audio animatronic figures, and you're going in and out. I've sort of spoiled myself a little bit just getting the layout of what that ride is actually going to look like. But man, I am stoked for that. And so I may not be there on opening day, but I'm going to try my hardest to be there with you when Rise of the Resistance opens. And they'll do the whole another bout of reservations.
Your presence will be felt regardless.
Excellent.
My thing, so if we really break down opening day of Galaxy's Edge and really look at it, and maybe that's what we should just talk about. We should just talk about the fact of, like, what's the game plan? So here's what we know. We know that Rise of the Resistance won't be open. So that's one of the biggest bummers about it. So basically it'll be, the entire land will be available, and then the only real ride, I mean, they're calling the experiences like attractions, but really the only ride is going to be Millennium Falcon.
But you're going to want to see every single thing that's going on.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're going to visit everything. It's just going to be, everything we can visit. But obviously the concern is, like, you have 4 hours. And so to set, well, you look like you were going to say something. What do you
I'm thinking 4 hours, it just seems like a really quick time on paper. But I'm just imagining, like, especially like when you have like an extra magic hour, you get there early in the morning, and you get so impressed at how much that you're able to do just in that first hour, let alone the first 2 hours. I mean, we've ridden Tower of Terror like 3 times, plus Space Mountain, and doing all this stuff, and Jungle Cruise. That's a hot ticket in the morning. But anyway, you get the most out of those first few hours. And if you condense that down to one land, especially a land that's now on like a reservation system, I'm feeling pretty confident that they're crowd controlling that in a responsible way, that you are going to be able to see everything. And I wouldn't be surprised if you even get on Millennium Falcon more than once. Probably not more than twice, but maybe more than once.
I think the only thing that makes me concerned is when they did their official release, or when I forgot who was talking about it, but when whoever the like chief Imagineer was talking about the land and how it's laid out and stuff like that. The issue was that they said that their goal was to make sure that Millennium Falcon was never longer than a 2-hour wait, which sounds great. Sounds like really manageable in terms of your like day's experience. But the concern, obviously, is so that's half your time in the land for one ride, which isn't a problem because I hear that the line is themed, like, insanely. Like, it's supposed to be one of the best lines that they've ever done.
The Falcon ride.
And, so, yeah. But the concern is that, you know, they're, like, basically setting expectations at 2 hours for this thing. And my concern is that opening day, everyone's going to rush the second you can get into the land. And mind you, that's getting through rope drop. Like, that's been one of my questions, too, is, like, my reservation starts at 8 a.m., right? Well, rope drop's at 8 a.m. Are they going to have a separate area where we kind of show our... Like, is rope drop going to get opened up to an extent where we show our reservation and then kind of
It's going to be like a breakfast
reservation,
I bet.
I mean, that would make sense. But, like, the concern, obviously, is if your reservation starts at 8, your time goes for 4 hours from 8 till noon. So if you don't get through rope drop, if you get stuck in line at the entrance, like, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Your time starts ticking at 8 no matter what.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, they've combated it a little bit. They said that for at least I mean, we're staying through the hotel, so we'll be able to register early, is my understanding. You'll be able to register at the hotel when you check in.
Sure.
And then go through that. But the people who are driving the day of, so there's 2 things. One, apparently the parking garage is going to open at midnight.
Oh my gosh.
It doesn't make any sense, though. Like, isn't the park open till midnight? How are they going to handle parking?
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a disaster.
Yeah.
Are they opening the
So-
brand new parking lot at midnight?
No, it won't be ready in time. So that's news too. So Disney's building. If you didn't know, Disney built a brand new, like a Pixar parking lot next to the Mickey and Friends parking structure.
It
And
went
won't
up
be ready in
so
time.
quickly though too.
Oh yeah,
But yeah, it's
but
crazy.
they missed the window's over. I mean, I guess California had a lot of rain. Maybe that's part of it. It just slowed it down. But they missed that deadline, and it's like, well, if there's no spillover parking, you're gonna have the parking structure is half full. I don't know, man. It's like there's just so many variables.
You may need to get there at midnight.
Yeah. So the parking structure is going to open at midnight, and like that's a whole mess in itself. But then you can't start lining up until 6 a.m. They specifically said at 6 a.m. you can start going to the bag check and getting into the land and being able to register. Not get into the land, but get into like what's that called?
The
atrium area in
Esplanade.
between the parks. Yes. You'll be able to line up there and kind of get your register for your wristbands and everything for that
Is
day.
it just gonna be like Star Wars tailgating in the parking structure?
I guess that doesn't sound like something that Disney would want.
No, absolutely not. That's so bizarre.
Ugh.
I didn't know that. That seems very
that's the
mismanaged. That's the first
That's the
feeling
first,
of mismanagement
first
that I've had
concern.
about this. Yeah.
Okay. So then, let's assume everything goes great. And so
it will.
Friday morning, we wake up with our group, and we'll have full coverage for the vlog, and everything will be very exciting. We plan on going in full detail, but I'll make sure I'm getting the lines of people that are waiting outside. I'm making sure I'm getting how the system works for people who are coming in later reservations. So if you're not coming on the first opening weekend, I'll make sure we have got videos up that show you how you can register if you have a driving in that day reservation.
Smart.
But so
I'm going to be desperately anticipating these videos and these Snapchats, and I'm going to be so close to my phone that day.
We'll make sure we're getting full coverage of the land.
Good.
It's a big part of it. So let's say everything goes great. We get in at 8 and we're lined up and ready to go. So then your 4 hours start. And the only thing that's giving me reassurance to this is like, because I was super concerned. I was like, there's no way this is gonna work great, right? Because basically, originally when I heard that they were doing 4-hour reservations, the thought process was it was going to be 4 hours, and then they would clear the entire land, like do a full wipe of the land, and then open to the next 4-hour reservation. So, tall ask, but that might have been like basically like the 5th hour of it. You're clearing out the entire land.
I know where
so
I know where you're going. I know where you're going.
Well, my thought process was going to be like the land would reach capacity, right? So they would fill it up with full capacity, which means that you would be waiting for almost 4 hours for the Falcon. Now, the only thing that has saved all that is the 4-hour windows now have an overlap. So it goes 8 to noon, and then the next entry period starts at 11 and goes 11 to 3, which means that there's an hour where 2 groups, like 2 different color wristbands. Also, if you didn't know, they're doing wristbands for time designation, but 2 different color wristbands will be in the land at the same time. Now, sounds like a bummer because that's like, oh, 2 different groups, that means higher capacity. The thing about that, though, is like if you look at a land's capacity, right? You can't have it overlap because you would go over capacity of the land, which means at most each time window can only be half capacity.
Yeah.
So you're talking about a land. So what that means, though, is like if there was ever a time to go to Galaxy's Edge, it's during the reservation period.
That's
because you're guaranteed to go into a land when it's half capacity.
Or are they anticipating that most people will not stay there for 4 hours?
I mean, I guess if, like, you know, the Joneses from Kentucky are in town visiting on vacation and they happen to stay at the resort and they're like, oh, we got this reservation period.
But that's it. Also, how many people are happening to stay at the resort, though?
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. The reality of it is no, people are going to stay the full 4-hour window. Like, it's like Harry Potter World. Hogsmeade is small, but when that first opened, people just, like, sat. They just sat around and they just, like, looked
soak
at
it in.
Yeah. And, like, to be honest, that's what I planned to do.
Yeah.
I was like, well, if I'm doing a reservation before the system was set up, I'm like, I'm just going to go to Batu and, like, just chill.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna like look at all the different stuff, like just stare at Creature Shop for a while, walk around the different like restaurants and everything, just look.
Hear
like,
every single song at Oga's Cantina.
Yeah, DJ Rex.
That is
BTW.
That is my second most anticipated thing about this entire land is the return of Rex.
Do you think they're going to remove him from the Star Tours line? They have to, don't they? There can't be two Rexes chilling.
I mean, he's not really doing anything in the Star Wars line. He's just there.
But a totally immersive experience. We can't think that there are two Rexes somewhere in the universe, right? You'd be suggesting that Disneyland itself has multiple universes.
Are we... Okay, I'm just trying to go into my Star Wars lore. Every droid, were they mass manufactured and we've just seen a few of them as they've been spread out over the entire galaxy? Or are we because I'm thinking of clones. Maybe I'm confusing clones with droids. But there's... I know... Okay, so C-3PO probably isn't. But there's got to be another R2-D2s or similar... Yeah, similar.
They call them... There's like BB-8. Like there's BB units. There's R2 units. C-3PO is a protocol droid, so there's multiple protocol droids. Like, they exist... So it's the issue though is like Rex. I mean, I guess you're right. You can make the argument that maybe there's a different type of Rex
if it's got
that's in the Star Tours line.
Who knows? What this is getting weird, way off topic, but it's going to be so weird having Star Tours separate from. I mean, it makes sense in Tomorrowland because it's future, but when you have a full on land dedicated to one franchise, it just seems weird that I feel like it's got to move over at some point, or because I don't envision it changing.
No, I'm sure it'll stay until Tomorrowland has its full refurb, and then it'll go. It'll be a sacrifice to whatever new stuff is coming in, and Star Tours will just
I just got goosebumps, man.
I mean, that's probably what's going to happen. Like, they've built a whole new Star Wars land, and they've kind of said that they're not moving it over. So it's like, if you're going to Disneyland, ride Star Tours, because its days are numbered.
Probably a lot of days, but I still haven't, I know I haven't experienced all of the outcomes. I just finally went to Hoth on the last visit. It was so exciting.
They just switched back to, at least the last time I was there, I was at the park 2 weeks ago, and they just switched back to the Last Jedi Force Awakens stories.
Okay.
So for a little bit, it had been the prequel and like original trilogy planet locations where it was randomized.
Did they ever do anything for Solo, as far as in-ride?
No, I don't think so.
That's okay.
They've sort of abandoned it. Well, you know what?
I like Solo, but I didn't.
I enjoyed it. Yeah. I thought it was fun. Now, not ruining anything for the ride, but I'm hearing, believe it or not, a lot of Smuggler's Run plots will have to do with Solo.
Okay.
Not directly into the movie, but a lot of things that we learned about in Solo will be the cargo that you might have to smuggle, or a location that you've been to there. It'll be a lot of that. So believe it or not, like, even though it's not a financial success for Disney, I think it'll still be a big part of the land. They definitely planned the Falcon ride around Solo.
And that doesn't disconfirm, but what I've heard is that this knows the events Force Awakens as well. And so it has that in mind going forward. But yeah, that doesn't conflict with what you're saying though either.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, I don't know if it's post Rise of Skywalker or pre-Rise of Skywalker, or if it's going to evolve over time. Maybe the land is set up in a way that right now when we enter it, it'll be pre-Rise of Skywalker, and then outcomes of that movie, the land will evolve into
that is the full
its own thing.
Effect of like story immersion as it's going to change. And I wonder if that's going to be the same case in Animal Kingdom with Pandora, because no, that's another topic, because I don't want to break open that Pandora's box.
Oh,
I wasn't even going for there, but it fits.
That was Jungle Cruise quality.
Thank you. I should write that down. No, wait, we're recording this.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah,
that's a whole issue, and I've got to believe that that's going to transform more when these sequels ever come out at the end of the 2030s sometime, when James Cameron dies and Jim Cameron, his son, Jim Jr., takes on the role and actually gets it done. Anyway, where were we?
You probably weren't too far off there. Like Avatar 5's release date is like 2027.
That's so far from now.
So in theory, it's a very real possibility that James Cameron could die
and that's
in between
counting
now
on
and...
the fact that it doesn't get delayed again.
Sure.
Which I'm not putting any more. And even so, I have zero interest in that movie today. I wait to see a trailer before I have any kind of other emotion, if we ever see a trailer. But today, I have no interest in that movie whatsoever. But man, am I still bummed that I haven't been to Pandora yet. I want to go to Pandora so bad. And I think that's the difference between story immersion and story. And that's why what you just said, bringing it back to the dot connect, the tangent, and how the land could possibly evolve based on the story elements that are going to happen in Rise of Skywalker.
I'm sure that's probably the future of, in general, theme parks and theming of rides, because they need to like future-proof it. I mean, maybe you're right. Part of what makes Pandora so cool is like the reality of whether or not there was a movie. People aren't going because they like Avatar. People are going because, you're right, it's a totally immersive land. And so what's exciting about it is that it could have been an original Disney property, essentially like Big Thunder or anything like that. And you're just excited to go to the land that they've created. It has nothing to do with Avatar. I mean, I guess it's possible that somebody's favorite movie is Avatar, but
no, you're
the
reaching.
Number of people that fill Flight of Passage's
blows my
line,
mind every single day that Avatar is the box office king. Blows my mind every single day.
Well, I mean, it might not be soon.
I'm rooting for. I keep the box office mojo window. I haven't closed it since opening weekend. I've been tracking it. I keep refreshing it every morning, and it's still trucking. It's gonna get close. It's gonna get close.
I'm sure it will.
I hope so.
It will pass it. Well, who knows? Who knows? Technically, we're getting really off track, but technically, domestically, it's trailing Force Awakens a little bit right now. So that's a big question of whether or not it can keep up that momentum. But I guess really the domestic market doesn't matter as much. It's the foreign market. That's how Avatar made all of its money.
It's still behind Avatar.
Yeah.
Let's get back to, where are we? We're in the Millennium Falcon cockpit.
Oh, we jumped in there? Yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens. My guess is it's going to be very Solo related. The big thing to take away from the information we know is that the land for the reservation system, a lot of people, when they were upset about it, the reality of it is they're like, oh, we'll wait, we'll go when everything's ready, we'll go when it slows down a little bit, we'll go in this, we'll go in that. But like the reality of it is you have a ticket to the first 3 weeks, you are going to have probably the most enjoyable experience in Galaxy's Edge for the next couple of years, I think. I think your lines will be a lot less. I think you'll actually be able to do more than one or two things while you're in there. You'll be able to walk around without being shoulder to shoulder with everybody. Like, it's going to be busy, but if there was ever a time to go, it's like now. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing a few. Like, I'm interested in the droid thing. I don't know if I need a droid at home, but if it's cool enough, I certainly might. The lightsaber experience, the build your own lightsaber, sounds sort of awesome. My only beef with that is from the pictures, they certainly look very large. Yeah. I don't know, like, it's not like a skinny, like one of those like Black Series lightsabers. It's very... it looks a little big.
I love lightsabers and I've always wanted one, but I'm just imagining kids with little Force happy and having a don't hit her situation.
Do you even think it's like, what do you think they'll even allow that? Like, at first they probably will, but it's going to take one incident where like a group of kids storm the cast
for
members
the children
outside
of the
Millennium Falcon
world
with their lightsabers. It's like...
New Fantasyland callback. In 1983, Prince Philip. Anyway,
there's just, I mean, really what this podcast to start off with is we're just kind of we're getting the feel of how the podcast format works. We're letting you know that we're going to be at Galaxy's Edge opening day, and we'll have content the next couple weeks, multiple videos where we'll go into detail, looking at, like, we're going to do a series called Destination in Detail, where we'll look at intricate portions of the park. So, like, we'll have a whole video that focuses on the milk stand, the whole backstory from the books about the milk stand, how that plays into the land, and, like, just full HD, like, 4K detail of that specific area. And we'll try and do that for every section that we're allowed to do in the time frame that we have. So stay tuned to our Galaxy's Edge coverage, because it's going to be comprehensive, and I'm sure Jordan and I will have a lot of things to, like, geek out about, and a lot of things that we'll probably talk very angrily about, because I can promise you, based on the 12 o'clock midnight opening of that parking garage, Disney does not have their stuff together yet.
It's not full grasp of the situation.
No, it's definitely not going to work the way that they're exactly anticipating. I mean, to be honest, though, that's why I'm excited I'm going in at 8. I know I can lose a little time off the front if you're not getting in, but just think about throughout the day, those people that they're saying that after your 4 hours is up, it's not like you get blacked out of stuff. They're going to, like, shut off your access to Millennium Falcon. They're going to, like, have cast members like, oh, you're wearing a purple wristband. I'm sorry, your time's up. Could you please leave? And Stormtroopers are going to be walking around doing the same thing. But what stops, like, 17-year-old...
escorting people out.
Exactly. But, I mean, like, what stops, like, 17-year-old... Like, imagine 17-year-old us at a Six Flags park being told something. All you're going to do is run away from the Stormtroopers. Like, they're going to have an issue all day with people not wanting to leave. And could you imagine putting it on the cast members? That's the worst thing ever, to be like, listen, it's going to be really stressful and really hard, and like, there's going to be a lot of people there. Your job is to ask people to leave when their wristband is up.
They're going to be so overwhelmed by the wonder of this place that we've been working on for the last 5 years, and you, after 3 hours and 59 minutes, have to tell them to get the heck out.
Yeah. It is going to be a problem. So I'm excited to show it.
On the other side, you have Galaxy's Edge, but then you have all of Disneyland right outside. Roger Rabbit is going to be so close. It's just a short walk away. Because that's going to be everyone's next best thing.
It's Roger Rabbit post Star Wars.
Obviously. once they get the Star Wars out of their system. Dude, I wonder if they'll do Hyperspace Mountain
it's
for Star
already
Wars.
Up. It's back, right?
I thought it was only for May the 4th.
No, they left it up. It's going to stick around.
Oh, excellent.
It's a great strategy, because it's like, if people are going there for Star Wars, they've got 4 hours in the land. After they get out, they're going to want to be hyped and keep doing Star Wars stuff. Yeah, you know how long the line... Like, think of, like, Star Tours normally has, like, probably 40 to 50-minute wait on busy days. You know how long that line's going to be? That ride is probably not going to have
still
seen
chasing that.
Yeah. So
in defense of that, like, depending on the day, but today I would argue Hyperspace Mountain is more enjoyable than Space Mountain.
Wow. I mean, I have a great time on it. I'm not saying you're not.
I just love the elements they use. I mean, Ghost Galaxy I could care less about, but Hyperspace Mountain is an overlay that works. It gets you emotional as you're going up, and you yourself become the title crawl as it goes up, and the scores blasting, and oh man, it's magical.
I'm
more excited for Hyperspace Mountain than I am for I'm kidding.
What I'm excited for, and if you're not doing it, you should do it, is Disney Max Pass, because you best believe I'll be watching while I'm in Star Wars Land, making sure for that 2 o'clock Space Mountain reservation to pop up, and waiting for my time, right? Because you're going to be in there, and you're going to be like, all right, well, I'm doing stuff in Star Wars Land. Obviously, I can't use any of my Max Passes if I get in the morning. But as I watch Hyperspace Mountain continue to grow throughout the day, I'm definitely getting one of those later in the day Hyperspace Mountain things, because the second I get out of this land, I'm going to make sure I have my day mapped out. Like, my afternoon is going to be mapped out in Max Pass. So, Yeah, man, I'm excited. It's going to be a good weekend. It's just very... We could talk for...
It's nerve-wracking because it's like a... If this is a terrible analogy, but it's like a graduation. Because you have been waiting for this whole time, and then finally the day is coming when you are actually graduated and you have all the responsibilities or the ability to do everything leading up to that was for. We've watched the movies, we've anticipated, we've waited, and then we get the diploma, we get the reservation, and we're in this completely new world, and we get to do whatever we want with it. The graduation analogy was spot on perfect when I started talking, but I think I lost a little bit of it along the way. But I hope the main point came out that it's like this big event that is leading to the rest of our lives.
Gosh, Disney has a lot of expectations to live up to.
There we go.
I don't think anybody at Disney was expecting that sort of reaction. But, I mean, hey, you're not wrong.
You know?
There's probably a lot of people out there that are just as excited. So, I don't know. We'll have all sorts of coverage. So, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Stick around because, yeah, the video is going... I mean, I'm really hoping that the video content is as good as I imagine it's going to be. But who knows? Man, you know right now that it's going to be impossible to film Smuggler's Run. Like, I keep trying to think of different ways I'm going to do it. I'm like, oh, I'll do a GoPro clamp and I'll, like, put it on my shirt and, like, they won't see it. When, like, I don't know if you've ever been on Star Tours, but I've done it before with a GoPro on Star Tours, just trying to record it. And someone will, and I hate it, right? Because somebody will come over to the loudspeaker and they'll be like, no filming. This is mid-ride, yeah. No filming during the ride, please.
Just as a friendly reminder, folks, there is no photography inside the cabin.
And, like, I don't want to ruin the experience for everybody else. But they don't worry about it. They literally will come over the loudspeaker in the middle of the ride and be like, no filming or flash photography. You're like, jeez. So I'm not gonna ruin Smuggler's Run for everybody in our cockpit.
Well, you gotta enjoy it too. You are there on the first day, and so you're gonna get the coverage. You're gonna film as much as you can, but don't still experience it and get the most out of it because it's like being at Disneyland on opening day, and there's gonna be some sort of fanfare. There's going to be some sort of special guest walking around. There might be a ribbon cutting ceremony or something. Maybe there won't be.
Gosh,
because there's such a clamoring to get inside.
Because they're calling it a soft open? Well, they're calling it a soft open.
Well, no, it's the official opening, but I don't know if they're going to have if they had like a parade or something big.
Well, you would think that they would do like a whole fireworks show and stuff too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I were actually going to do it as a grand opening, I would do, like, a whole Star Wars weekend. I would do, like, a whole... like a May the 4th thing, where there's, like, a special fireworks show. You've got a whole parade. You're right, like, you could put Mark Hamill in, like, the parade, and, like, everyone goes around. Mm-hmm. It's just, like, a mini Star Wars day at Disneyland.
Yeah.
But they haven't announced any of those details. For what it's worth, though, and I guess take it with a grain of salt, but they haven't announced any details besides how the reservation system is working. So there very well could be a massive celebration. I think their concern, though, is like they don't want to announce that too early because if people, because then if you don't have a reservation, people are still going to want to come to the park, and I think people are going to want to come to the park anyway. And what happens when the park reaches capacity? Like,
and it will.
Chaos.
It definitely will.
Yeah. Now the only thing they've gone on record and they've said that if you have a reservation to the land, even if the park reaches capacity, you'll still be granted access into the park to go to use your reservation.
Okay.
So there's no concern for those people that have reservations like till midnight, the nighttime reservations. They will still be able to get into the land. Or into the park. That's even. Good. Yeah.
Right.
So I think that's the best thing that they probably did.
The guarantee. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's what I was most concerned about. Really, what that does is it means that you don't need to rush to get there. Like, if you have a reservation, you will get into Disneyland. I wouldn't worry about... Yeah. So, please don't come at midnight and park in the parking garage and then stand at Bake Shack at 6 a.m. if you are one of the people that has a reservation for later in the afternoon. Because all you will do is take away from you'll take away from my 8 a.m. entry time, and it will just make me sad.
It's sad. But there will be no sadness on May 31st. None whatsoever.
Hopefully.
Here's hoping.
It's a lot of...
So this is the Star Wars episode, but again, this is also the Galaxy's Edge episode, but this is also the first episode, the first of many, that's going to cover a wide range of topics, and like Joey was sort of hinting at, just all the different offerings that we have ambitions for that are going to be available on the channel. You can even look today. There's a lot of just front ride POV videos where you can see where you can experience the rides. You've seen them before, you've experienced them before, but you've never seen them like this. Right? How are they different, Joey?
I like that.
Sell them.
They're rides. And they're in 4K. Here's what's up. They're in 4K. You know what though? Some of them aren't great, but some of them are really good. I think our Incredicoaster is really solid.
I've watched the Railroad one all the way through twice and a half. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Well, it's just so tranquil and peaceful, and it's just right there.
I'm going back to the park this weekend.
Okay, cool.
I'm going back to the park this weekend, and I'm trying to make sure I get some more atmospheric stuff. Just set up the camera and let it stay in Rivers of America, or let it just chill in New Orleans Square. Just let it run for like 15 minutes, and you can just come, sit down, and if you're at work, turn on that sound.
There is something weirdly relaxing about even just having the train. It's like you're just hearing the sounds, hearing the guy. Now approaching Main Street Station around Waltz Grand Tour around the Magic Kingdom. I don't have the script in front of me, but you know what it is, and it's just sort of, you feel that you're there. It inspires those sense memories, and so it's not exactly like riding there in person, but I think it's an awesome way to just get a taste of those rides, those attractions. And it's not just Disneyland either.
No, yeah, we'll definitely be covering. To be honest, we love theme parks in general. So if there's an opportunity to go to Knott's, if there's an opportunity to go to Six Flags, if there's an opportunity to go to SeaWorld, if there's an opportunity to go to Universal, we'll definitely cover it. I mean, I can promise, you should know right now, Jurassic Park's my favorite movie. I'm going to be at Jurassic World opening day, and we'll have full coverage of that too, because it's like, I mean, if you want me to rant about something, we could go in all details about why Jurassic World is going to be a disaster, but that's another video for another time.
It's another one. We will get there. And so hopefully this is just the beginning of a long relationship that we have with you, the listener and subscriber. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe now. I'm assuming this will be on YouTube, so if we point down or this, and then we'll have the Railroad video pop up here. And then the new Galaxy's Edge video is going to be right here because you're watching this in the future. It's June 5th. And Galaxy's Edge has been open for a week. And you're trying to figure out what we were talking about almost 3 weeks ago. Here it is. It's today. Today is June 5th. Watch this Galaxy's Edge video about blue milk.
That's going to blow people's minds on June 5th.
I'm suddenly really excited for June 5th.
All right. Well, so this has been the first episode of the Ponderland Podcast. That's what you've basically been saying.
Yeah.
And I'm Joey.
I'm Jordan. This is Happy Place Explorers and hashtag Find Your Happy Place. Right?
I like it.
Let's go with it.
All right.
Hashtag Find Your Happy Place.
You heard it first. All right. Have a great night, everyone.
All right. See you next time in Ponderland.
I love it.